You're listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla, your source for the uncensored truth regarding the human, extraterrestrial, global, and political agenda. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And now, here's Dr. Michael Salla.
In Elena Danan's new book, The Cedars, she described meeting the leader of one of the two main Anunnaki factions, Prince Ea, also known as Enki, who has just returned to our solar system. She was told that he had brought the original Adamic DNA blueprint that could be used to remove harmful genetic alterations inflicted upon unwary humanity by the opposing Enlil faction of the Anunnaki, which had left its minions, also known as the Deep State, behind millennia ago to control the Earth's population. In an interview with the longtime Andromedan contactee Alex Collier, which was released on October 8, I raised the question about the return of the Enki faction of the Anunnaki and Enki bearing the gift of humanity's original Adamic DNA blueprint. I asked for Alex's perspective as he works with the Andromedans, who are an entirely separate group of extraterrestrials that would have an objective perspective on the operations of both the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Enki faction of the Anunnaki. Alex's answers to my questions clarify some of the vital exopolitics issues raised by Enki's alleged gift, which some may suspect to be a Trojan horse for a hidden agenda. To better understand the context of what was being offered, here is what Elena Danan wrote about her conversation with Enki in The Cedars. Enki: I brought back the Grail. Elena: the original DNA sequence? Enki: yes indeed, the chalice of the original unspoiled Terra-human lineage. The unaltered original genetic sequence. There are more strands in the Terra-human genome that need to be reactivated, and the original sequence key will do this when transferred onto the altered pattern. DNA is a currency, for it carries the formulas required to replicate other forms of intelligence throughout the universe. Enki is here suggesting that the gift he has brought with him, the Grail, will start the activation process for 12-stranded DNA that is inherent in the human genome. Presumably, Enki's gift would activate the third strand of human DNA, which becomes the key to activating the remaining DNA strands. A vital component of this DNA activation process would be restoring human longevity, which religious texts report was originally 1,000 years for Adam and his descendants, such as Jared, Enoch, Lamech, Methuselah, and Noah. The above short summary gives the proper context for my question to Alex and his response. In her book, The Cedars, Elena says that she met with Enki and that he said he had a gift for humanity, that he had brought back the original Adamic DNA and that he had passed it on to the Galactic Federation, and they in turn had passed it on to the Earth Alliance, and they were building all of these medical technologies that would restore the original, 12-stranded Adamic DNA. So, my question is does that mean that going back to that original Adamic DNA realizing that full inherent potential, is that going to be through undergoing this kind of medical technology, or can we do it just through spiritual consciousness raising means?
That's a difficult question to answer because
Posso te ensinar até a vida dos seus sonhos apenas usando 2 minutos do seu dia com algo que é muito poderoso? E adianto
I do not know how much damage chemically has been done to our DNA with the poisoning of the water supply, the air supply, the food, sound through music, pharmaceuticals. I don't know. I don't know how much damage the body has experienced or suffered through. I simply do not know. So I don't know how to answer that question. It would only have to be a guess for me, and I would prefer not to make a guess. But if he gave the Alliance or the Federation if he gave the Alliance the original blueprint, which was who we were before he made his modifications and who we are after he made the modifications. If they're building technology to do it, then they know that spiritually we may not be able to make the jump. It could also be, Michael, that we don't have enough time to spiritually evolve to that level before the change comes. So by getting our physicality to that place already, what it does is it buys us longevity. If nothing else, it buys us a great deal of longevity. It will probably add hundreds of years to our lifetime, our lifespans, so that we can continue to evolve spiritually without the body giving out.
Well, I know that would be one of the big questions people would have if this technology is rolled out by the Earth Alliance. And, we're assuming here that the deep state is defeated. The white hats kind of emerge victorious. They reveal a lot of the truth of what's been happening. And then they roll out this technology and say, okay, by going through this technology, a lot of the junk that's been put in, the poisons that have been created to kind of like limit your abilities, a lot of that can be removed by going through this technological process. So you would be like supportive of that.
Yeah, as long as the equipment didn't say Pfizer or Merck on it. Yeah, I would be supportive of that.
Okay, well, that's important. That's important.
There's other ways to kill us than to go through this whole elaborate thing, So I have to believe that this is all very, very promising, and it's for a much higher purpose. Humanity we just don't understand, our place and our role and our connection to the other dimensions. And I get that. And a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their heads around that. But, there's truly a place for us. We have value, which is why all these resources are here in our solar system to assist us. But they have to get us to a place where we become self-responsible. They have to get us to that place because they're not going to babysit. No how, no way. So, and I believe that there is a majority of the population that will do it. I think that there's a portion of the population or a percentage that simply have been so conditioned to be the victim that they're just not going to make it. They're just not going to make it unless they change that part of themselves, instead of being a victim, taking full responsibility to unconditionally be responsible for oneself without being coerced by some higher authority.
Alex's response provides a plausible rationale for why the genetic upgrade proposed by Enki should be regarded as a positive development for humanity. Extending human life by several centuries would certainly give people time to activate the full 12-stranded DNA that lies within us. It's worth recalling that the original Adam and his successors lived for 1,000 years, so extending our present lifespan by several centuries would only be the start of a long restoration process. Extended lifespans would enable individuals to become fully informed about the true galactic situation confronting our planet and develop spiritually. So how are the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Earth Alliance responding to the Adamic DNA blueprint that Enki has brought as a gift? According to Elena, Thorhan just gave her an update on the Galactic Federation taking possession of the holographic medical technology that will be used in performing genetic upgrades. What follows is a written summary sent to me by Elena, which was expanded upon in a video she released on her YouTube channel on October 9. Quote, "Last night I connected to Thorhan and he showed me that he was on the Nibiru ship taking care of an operation of transfer of medical holographic technologies onto a Galactic Federation of Worlds vessel. He was wearing an environmental suit. They were in a cargo bay of the Nibiru ship. I could glimpse the quick vision of a large oval aperture opening onto space. Thorhan was watching the Galactic Federation of Worlds personnel loading the technologies on board the Galactic Federation vessel. They were about to leave and bring this to Luna, which is developing into a medical hub. I asked Thorhan if he had met Enki. He said no, that he dealt with the Nibiru crew. This made me realise that, of course, Enki is not on his own in this huge spherical ship. There is a whole Anunnaki crew as well." End quote. I have previously discussed the collaboration between the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Earth Alliance in developing advanced technologies for the defence, transportation and medical industries that will eventually be released. According to several sources, these technologies are allegedly being mass-produced on retrofitted facilities on the Moon. The timing of the release of these holographic medical technologies is dependent on the deep state being removed from power. This raises the question of whether Enki's gift is a Trojan horse for an unknown agenda, as proposed by some skeptics. Historical texts such as the Atrahasis clearly depict Enki as playing the key role in creating modern Homo sapiens and being humanity's protector from a rival Anunnaki faction led by Enlil, his half-brother, who regarded humans as a threat. In his book Escaping from Eden, Paul Wallace describes several instances where the Elohim, also known as the Anunnaki, felt threatened by humanity's potential and took dramatic actions to limit our development, as exemplified in stories of the Great Flood and Tower of Babel. Significantly, Enki was either opposed to or was not involved in these instances of the Anunnaki/Elohim stepping in to stop or impede human development. Consequently, there is good reason to be optimistic that the medical holographic technology Enki has passed on to the Galactic Federation of Worlds is precisely what Elena Danaan has described in The Cedars, a gift to humanity. Alex Collier's response reveals that the Andromedans have a positive view of Enki and his motivations, and Alex is supportive of such technology being used. Given the available information, there is reason to be cautiously optimistic about what is transpiring behind the scenes regarding new medical holographic technologies that can restore the original Adamic DNA blueprint. This incredible technology, which will enable the extended human lifespans reported in religious texts, will, at some point in the near future, be offered to humanity by an Earth Alliance cooperating with the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Enki faction of the Anunnaki. Will Enki's gift be accepted by everyone? Some will refuse out of fear or ignorance. Others will decline due to their strong belief that the activation of 12-stranded DNA and life extension is possible through epigenetic and spiritual practices that don't require any technology. It can be anticipated, however, that a majority of humanity will accept undergoing such a holographic medical process if it is recommended by Earth Alliance leaders, which appears very likely given their active participation in the mass production of such technologies. In my own case, I'm an agnostic on the need for holographic medical technologies for DNA activation, when similar results can be achieved through epigenetic and spiritual practices. However, I recognise that such an organic, non-technological pathway may not be practical for a vast majority of humanity who have led a life of dependency on medical technologies and pharmaceutical products, or whose religious convictions preclude epigenetic and spiritual practices that can change one's own DNA.
You have been listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla.